my lack of interest in complaining is so high. And when I watch what people complain about, it breaks my heart because they completely lack perspective. And I think the way people look at the world right now, because it's such an incredible time, is actually the quickest tell to who they are. If you think it sucks or it's bad, you have losing pessimistic DNA. And if you think it's awesome and phenomenal, you have optimistic winning DNA. And I believe that to be true. I think what I've been good at in business is trying to decide what's a fad and what's an actual business. So something like Social Cam. I downloaded it and got very serious about it in 2011. I didn't know even the founders of Social Cam. It wasn't that I knew if Social Cam was gonna be big. I didn't invest in it, I didn't go after it, but I knew video on the mobile device was gonna be big. So when Vine got hot very quickly, I was an early mover and early advocate of Vine and Vine influencers, right? Which, by the way, Vine influencers are absolutely the precursor to this Snapchat, Instagram thing we're dealing with right now. That's where they came from first. Instagram was photos. Then when Vine was dying a little bit, they all moved over to Instagram. Instagram was smart and made video, 1-minute videos, and that's when you saw the shift, and that became the seed and the foundation of Instagram influencers, which is an enormous billion-dollar industry now. Everyone's like, how are you so early? It's because I put in the work. 2011, Social Cam, learn how video on mobile works. 2013 comes along, Vine pops. I'm like, that's right. I lived through YouTube 2006-07, being a YouTube celebrity for my wine show, so I knew what it looked like. I saw that the Vine kids were that. I flew to LA and met Brittany Furlan and King Batch. I put in the work. And so it's intuition, but it's also putting in the work. I definitely feel like I learned hard work by watching my parents. And so it's why I talk so much about hustle. I watch people give advice completely predicated on natural talent and DNA, and I'm like, look, like I get it, like I can throw a football every day for 9 hours a day. I'm just not physically built to be competitive at the highest levels. So yeah, I do think, you know, if anybody watching right now, if there's anything they take away, it's like, look, like you're gonna only be so pretty, you're only gonna be so smart, there's things that are gonna be natural, and then there's things that you can actually control. I do believe, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, I don't, but I do believe that work ethic is a taught behavior. It's something you do have more control over. And yeah, I think, and you know what really sealed the deal for me? Getting healthier. I was 38 years old and it didn't come natural to me. Like it didn't come natural to me at all. I hate the gym. I hate it now. I hate it, I don't like it, I don't want to do it. But I knew it was important. And somewhere around midway through being 38 years old, I got serious, I figured out my system, I made the financial commitment, and I've won, right? And I'll never lose again because the system was I needed to be accountable to another human being. So it was about Mike and now Jordan and whoever else is my trainer. I'm doing it almost weirdly more to not let them down than to, and so that was this shift. And so I feel like there's a shift that can make people work harder. The big one that I push is you're gonna die. Like if you're like to me, life is broken down into complaining and not. So if you're not complaining, well then I have no advice for you. I'm pumped. Like you did it. Like I have friends who make $42,000 a year, work 9 to 4, kind of, with an hour and a half lunch and 45 minutes of YouTube and 10 minutes of bullshitting and an hour of complete wasted time in a meeting. So they're kind of working like 6, hours a week, right? They text me, these are high school friends, and they'll text me like how happy they are to be the coach of their kid's baseball team. And like that's amazing. Like that seems very obvious to me. Like that's right. Like, what's super weird? I'm actually weirdly envious. It sounds cool, like in theory, right? Grass is always greener, right? Like far less pressure, like all that time with my kids, oof, that would be cool. Like there's just like all these things that I can justify. So to me, but I have friends who have $100 million in the bank because of Facebook's IPO, who complain, who are still hungry, who want to do even more, who will complain to me because they know I work a lot about no work-life balance and they don't get to spend enough time with their family. And I'm like, you have $100 million. Like you could stay home, like you're in control. Like don't complain about it. You've made that choice. Don't bullshit me. Like you want to spend more time with your family? Spend more time with your family. this is back to what we said about keyboard warriors. I'm trying to be very careful about what I'm saying versus what I'm doing, because that's how you get exposed. And I don't mean like people calling you out and being like, you suck. I mean to yourself. I don't want to be exposed by myself. It's looking yourself in the mirror and saying like, am I doing this right? So to me, there's so many people that are talking shit about how big of an entrepreneur they're gonna be and how much they're gonna achieve, and they don't work on weekends. You know, I worked every Saturday of my 20s. Like, and I talk to 20-year-old entrepreneurs every single day. Lately, I've been saying to them, this Saturday, you're gonna have more time off than I've had in my entire 20s on a Saturday. So like, before you tell me how you're gonna be bigger than me, start thinking about what you're actually doing.
Right.
People should fucking stop complaining.
Right.
People should figure out who the fuck they are.
Good call.
People should not listen to America propaganda of fixing the shit they suck at. They should be tripling down on what they're good at. They should be competent in certain areas, but you're not gonna become Beyonce, or, you know, like your bone structure is a certain way. Like, you're not gonna solve everything. Your IQ can get a little bit better, but don't worry about the incremental. Figure out what you fucking puts you on fire and you're halfway decent at. If you're lucky enough right now to be listening and you're good at what you like, become tunnel fucking vision. Because there's way too many voices telling you what and how. And here's the other thing, and this is the big one, Joe, because you have a humongous audience. The biggest thing that I've seen dividends from, have the conversation with the person that's holding you back. The reason most people who are listening right now are not doing that thing is they're worried about the opinion of somebody, usually their mother, usually their father. And the reality is that your spouse may be the person holding you back, and you have to have that conversation.
Cut them off.
We have to get to a place where you're doing you, because the number one thing that scares the fuck out of me is regret. And you're gonna sit there at 72 and you're gonna say, I wish, I wish, I wish. And whether that's money or spend more time with your family, there's a million ways to do this. Not everybody wants to buy the jets. Not everybody wants to smoke weed on the beach in Bahamas. Like, everybody's got a different fucking thing. Figure out what your fucking thing is and stop making fucking bullshit excuses. Who the president is, your mom did this, like I missed it, I had that idea for Uber. Then why didn't you fucking do it, dick? That's what I think, Joe.
I'm in a situation where my father is very successful. I have not accomplished shit yet.
Right.
You are, how can I say this? You're an incredibly wise human being. You've put out a multitude of content. I don't know how much wisdom can be packed into one human being, but I mean, you exist. And so because of that, you inspire me, and I'm at this age where I'm 23, entering the best years of my life, correct?
Yeah.
I'm about to, hey, I'm very confused.
I'd give up everything to be 23.
Would you?
All of it.
To redo it?
100%. Time is the number one thing. Like, more time, like 18 more years, 100%, all of it.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's like you guys should be real happy. I look at these young faces, I'm like, fuck. Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, like I was saying, you know, there's just a lot of pressure to be great like him.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, like, corporate finance, yes, I'm in it right now. I'm on the right path. Maybe
does he want you to be a CFO?
That's exactly what he wants me to be.
Do you want to be a CFO?
Slightly. I want to be successful. I want to make him proud. He's done a lot for me. I can repay him by being successful. I also want to be an actor.
Have you ever told him any of your truths? Or do you appease what he wants for now?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Look, I think, your dad loves you way more than he wants you to appease him. No matter what you believe. And I think the sooner you can have an honest conversation, like a real honest one, the sooner you could start doing. You may have a conversation with your dad this summer where you get really real off the momentum of this, and you may realize when you're done with it that, fuck, you actually want to be a CFO. The key is to just have the conversation.
Yeah. Until then, I'll keep busting my ass. Hey,
yeah, but that's like you busting your ass is fine and dandy. If you actually, like, if this is the thing that you wanted to bring up, I'm telling you, as scary as it may be, the real truth conversation, is your mom around and involved?
Of course.
Does she know how you feel? Does she play the good cop kind of thing, or is she kind of like reinforced, like what?
They both want me to hit a target that's hittable. That's what they keep saying. Hit the target that's hittable.
Right.
Because the acting target, the Broadway, the Hollywood, those are small targets to hit.
Let me give you a really, really, really good wisdom-based thing.
Please do.
You love your parents?
Absolutely.
I figured based on your vibe, if you don't do what you want to do, you're gonna end up regretting it, which is then gonna manifest at being mad at them, and you are doing a greater disservice to the relationship of you and your parents by not doing what you want to do than by doing what they want you to do.